Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something really important that has been a huge factor in my life lately, chronic stress. If you're in your late 20s and early 30s and you constantly feel overwhelmed or like your body is running on empty, trust me, I get it. If you've been following my YouTube journey, I'm sure that you know that I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately because I'm in a season of change. And I just realized how much stress has been weighing on me, mentally, physically, emotionally. So me being me, I went down a rabbit hole and I found out just how much it affects us. It's not just like a feeling of being overwhelmed. We are literally rewiring our brains. And just to name a few, we're affecting our blood pressure, we're spiking our blood sugar, we are stuck in survival mode. This morning I was listening to a podcast with Robbins and Dr. Chatterjee, and something he said really hit me. Stress is running our lives. And the sad thing is that most of us don't even realize it. But there's great news. We don't have to live like this. So I want to share with you everything that I learned while doing this deep dive on stress. I want to talk about what chronic stress is doing to our bodies, why our generation has such a deep-rooted relationship with chronic stress, and most importantly, how we can take back control. So first, let's talk about stress. What is stress? Stress actually isn't a bad thing. I think in society, when we think of stress, we think of something bad, but stress is natural and it's what keeps you safe. It's your body releasing adrenaline and cortisol to keep you safe in dangerous situations. But the problem is that most of us aren't running from lions. Those aren't our dangerous situations. Our dangerous situations are having to go to a party, or our boss calls us on the phone, social media drama, bills, family stress, deadlines. It's changed from what it used to be when we were way back then as cave people. And I don't know about y'all, but I grew up watching my mom stress about absolutely everything, and she still does. And I think that's why it's so common in our generation to be stressed. We think that stress is a normal part of being an adult. But when stress is constant, it's breaking us down from the inside out. I did do my undergrad in psychology, but I don't know everything about the brain. A lot of this was research. I want to show you what I learned. What I learned about the brain was super captivating. Stress literally rewires your brain. It makes you more anxious, more reactive, and more sensitive to negativity. And that is because the amygdala, this tiny little part of your brain that controls your emotions and your fears. When you're constantly stressed, your amygdala grows larger and gets more reactive, and you start to see everything as a threat. You've met those people. Sometimes you see them at the grocery store, or sometimes they're on the road and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, chill out. I didn't even mean it like that. Or there's something's happening with someone else. You're like, it wasn't even that serious. But everything is a threat because stress has rewired your brain. And now your brain believes that a can that you wanted at the grocery store not being in stock, you have to go berserk. This also applies to that feeling of when you're on edge, or when you're irritated, or you're waiting for something bad to happen. That means your amygdala is running the show. It's pretty much the same thing with your heart. When you're stressed, again, your body releases adrenaline that makes your heart beat faster. Then your blood pressure raises. And that's fine for a time, but when it's chronic stress, that leads to heart disease, hypertension, strokes. And I'll be honest, this one hit me pretty hard because I know I can get worked up fast, 0 to 1,000. And I think about my heart a lot. I'm like, damn, what am I putting her through? She's pumping and pumping for me all day, every day. And I'm here worked up. And most of the time, I get worked up about things that really aren't in my control. And it makes me realize my heart wasn't meant to be in survival mode 24/7. I have to find ways to not let chronic stress consume my body in that way. This one kind of blew my mind, but stress also messes with your blood sugar. When you're stressed, your body pumps out extra glucose into your body to give you more energy. And that's great. if you're about to run from a bear. Not so great if it's just a phone call. Our glucose being spiked chronically because of the stress can lead to weight gain around the belly, insulin resistance, and those sugar crashes, those energy crashes. So if you're constantly reaching out for snacks when you're stressed, it's not just willpower, it's literally biology. Okay, so now we know that stress is hijacking our bodies, but what can we do about it? So I found this amazing podcast and this amazing doctor, and it really got me into diving deep into okay, so now I know about the stress, but what am I supposed to do about it? So Dr. Chatterjee, he has a YouTube page and he's all over social media, but he has these 4 pillars of health and wellness. They're honestly game changers. The first one is food. Second one is movement. The third one is sleep. And the fourth one is relaxation. I want to break those down to you. When Dr. Chatterjee explains the pillar of food, he asks us to stop feeding the stress cycle. And I used to think that, food can't really have that much to do with stress, but everything you eat affects the way you feel. Some key things that he mentioned in the podcast were to remember how you feel when you actually want to eat. Sit with yourself and actually question yourself, what is it that I'm feeling? What kind of void am I trying to fill? He also mentioned getting out of areas where you usually eat. If you usually eat in front of the couch while watching TV, switch your location, because we are humans. We are wired to be habitual, right? So it's so important to start asking yourself these questions and sitting with yourself in those moments instead of going over to the fridge and just popping stuff in your mouth. And it's easier said than done. I'm not saying this because it's easy. I'm just telling you what I learned. Please, please, please stay hydrated. I know we hear that all the time, but water makes a world of difference. Find the foods that your body needs. 1 ingredient foods. The example he gave, I think, was like avocado or eggs. There's really no ingredients. There's no label because it's just avocado. Find that. That is what we need. Less processed foods. It makes a world of difference. The second pillar, movement. You have to use exercise to lower your stress. As he was talking about it, he mentioned that you don't need to overcommit yourself. You have to start with what makes you comfortable. Start with 5 minutes. And if that's too much, start with 1 minute. Commit to that. And that movement can spread into the other pillars, spread into other sections of your life, because you will see the difference, because your body needs movement. Y'all know I've been trying to get my body back into movement, and stress is a big reason why. Movement can look different for everyone. It could be strength training for one person, but it could be walking for another person, or stretching, or yoga. Whatever that is, find it, start small, and even if you don't do it every day, maybe every other day, whenever you feel comfortable, set a timer and just do it. He really pressed on the idea that if you do this consistently, your life will change in so many different sectors. Okay, the third pillar is sleep. I gotta say, I don't really struggle with sleep because I love to sleep. It feels so good. It's such a pleasure. But I know a lot of people who stay up late and have so much trouble getting up in the morning. And, I can say they probably get 5 hours and they're cool with it because their body's used to it. But if they really took the time to think about it, it is affecting them. And he talks so much about how sleep affects our well-being. If you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep a day, your body's stressed before you even wake up. Things that help, the first thing he said was a bedtime routine. He gave a great example of moms. I know people are moms, not me, but we have bedtime routines for children. We talk lower, we turn the lights down, we shower, we sing, we read a book. It's the same thing. Just because you grew up doesn't mean you don't need that. And I know you're gonna hate to hear this, but no screens before bed. Blue light keeps you on high alert, your brain on high alert. It's not gonna help you fall asleep. That's why you're having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. It's that blue light. Keep your phone in another room. I know, what about an alarm? Buy an alarm clock. Okay? It's 1982. Guys, I forgot to share pillar number 4, relaxation. It's just learning to turn your switch off. Chronic stress equals chronic stimulation. You need to actively rest. I'll be the first to admit I really struggle with turning my brain off. I always feel like I should be doing something. But what I've learned is that if you don't take time to relax, your body will force you. You should be doing breathing exercises, meditate, get into it slowly. I know it sounds really boring, but it's so good for you. And I've learned that just like stress rewires your brain, so can time in nature. So get outside. So I know this video was really quick, but I just wanted to pour into you guys what I learned throughout my research. And I want to encourage you guys to find Dr. Chatterjee's page and really dive deep into the things he has to say. We think that health and wellness comes from external things, but everything that you need is in you. A little bit of discipline can go a long way. So to wrap this up, stress is real. It's affecting us more than we realize, and it's time to take control. I would love to hear from you guys. What is a huge stressor in your life? And what things do you think you could do slightly differently after watching this video? Please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm also going to tag Dr. Chatterjee and Mel Robbins down below because what they're doing is life-changing. If you found any of this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and go ahead and share it with someone who you think would benefit from it. We're all in this together. See you in the next video.